Hello friends, my name is Sinia and welcome to the Polish Cauldron. In my last video, I shared the Polish for Days Something Wicked collection, and I did a swatch and review showing you all the polishes that are part of the collection. And I did get a couple of comments talking about how these will look over as a topper or over similar cremes. So I thought it will be fun to do a follow-up video and kind of explore that. It can be something like a deep dive into the collection and kind of explore fun and different ways to wear the polishes. So I already prepared my swatch wheel over here, and what I'm planning to do is I'm gonna swatch a single coat over black over this kind of a milky white polish, and then I picked up a similar creme or a color I thought it would be complementary to the polish. And of course, for the two flakies, I reserved an extra swatch spot that I will try a jelly sandwich with a color from my collection I thought would look interesting. So that is the plan. I hope you will have some fun and it can actually show you how the polishes look and how you can wear them in different ways. So let's just dive into it. First, I'm going to start with Eternal Glow, and this is the very nice magical purple. You can see on top of the black polish we have this very visible orange shimmer, and the base is getting lost because it's quite sheer, but on top of white it gives us that very, very light purple color, kind of like periwinkle. And of course, on top of the purple base, it looks really, really beautiful. It is a match made in heaven. I think we actually managed to create a look very similar to what you see in the bottle, and it looks fantastic. And also you can actually preserve your bottle this way because you'll only use one coat on each finger. Now for the next polish, we have Sleepy Hollow, and I'm actually super excited to try this one out. It has a very strong blue shimmer in the polish, so I think that's what we're gonna expect to see here. And wow, although it is completely different than what you see in the bottle, I think it looks really, really beautiful. You do lose the base, of course, because it's quite sheer, but it's such a fantastic way to wear the polish. I think it looks stunning, and it's kind of like a cool way to get more out of it. Now, on top of the white, with the you can really see the orange base, and you kind of lose a little bit of the shimmer. Now, when you wear this in multiple coats, you build up the shimmer and you see a lot of it on the nail. But if you want something more subtle, this could be an option. The color of the base is strong enough to cover the white, so I guess this will be similar of wearing a blurring base coat. It just will tint it slightly. And on top of the orange cream, we have a much more saturated version. The base kind of leans a bit to the red because it builds up on the orange, and it does look very beautiful here too. I think all three ways are great choices, again, especially if you want to preserve your bottle. But of course, actually wearing this polish in 3 coats is a stunning choice as well. The next polish is Blueberry, and I'm actually quite excited to see how that will work. Again, there's a very strong blue shimmer, and that's what I expect to see in the black swatch. And that holds true. You can see the only thing that shows here is the blue shimmer. It is a viable way to wear the polish, but of course, I think there's so much more into this color that I probably would not just layer it like that over black. Now over white, you can actually see the beautiful base color in a more desaturated form, of course, because it is on a white base. But it does look pretty. It's a very viable option if you want to wear this in a more subtle way or preserve your bottle, of course. Again, as I said before, the look you get on the white swatch is probably something similar to what you're going to get if you put a single coat over a blurring base or a very neutral color. Last but not least, I chose a dark plum to try out as a colored base. And this one, I think it's a fun way to try this. I think it turns the polish a little bit close to Goblins and Ghoulies. Overall, I think it's a cool way to layer it over different types of purples. I think it looks really beautiful and interesting, and again, a great option to preserve your bottle. Very wearable. For our last shimmer, we have Grave Consequences. And this one has a very strong green shimmer. Now, what I love about this polish is that the shimmer is quite shifty. It might not be as obvious here on camera, but it does have some blue shifts around the edges of the nail. It looks very beautiful. It can look almost a little bit purple in some angles, so although it's probably not the optimal way to use it, you can definitely do that. Now, I'm really interested to see how this will look over the white, because it does allow that taupey base to shine. And I think it looks absolutely stunning. You do get a little bit less of the shimmer compared to what you would get if you were to layer this on a couple of coats, but the base has a beautiful color even on the single layer, and it reads very nicely together with the shimmer. Now for the cream, I picked this taupey base. I think this is the ILNP Mushroom from one of their recent fall collections. So I'm really curious to see how that will work. Because the base is darker, you will get a deeper base tone, which is beautiful and closer to what you're going to get if you layer it together on a couple of coats. Overall, I think this polish works beautifully as a topper over different shades of creams. As long as, you know, it's within the similar undertones, I would try it over purples, browns, maybe even some reds and pinks. It could be interesting as well. I wouldn't shy away of trying it over various colors. Again, I wouldn't go too dark because then you lose the depth of the base color, as you see in the black. But in other cases, the base kind of builds up with your base color and creates a very interesting look. Now let's go into the flakies. First up, I have Ghosts at the Gate, and wow, this polish is absolutely stunning. I'm super excited to see how it looks. I really loved the first coat when I was swatching this, so I'm quite intrigued to see how it will read on the swatch sticks. So first, over black, it is really beautiful, but again, you do miss the depth of the base color. If you just wanted, green flaky topper for your black nail polish, it can totally do the job, but I wouldn't waste my bottle on that, to be honest. But of course, that's up to you. On top of white, wow, we see the beautiful purple base. Really, really stunning here. It reads really nicely. I think this is a very fun way to try it out if you feel that when you layer multiple coats, this gets too dark. Layering it over a blurring base or a nude or a white color will certainly create a beautiful result. Then I have this kind of gray mauve color, and again, similar to our previous swatches, this lets the base color to build up a little deeper but still have a sparse flaky result. And similar to what I said for the black, I think a good idea if you really wanted to preserve your bottle was to try something like this one over here, and then do 2 coats at least so that the flakies will have some more depth to it. On a single coat, it does lose a bit if you keep the base too dark, at least in my opinion. Now, as I said before, I wanted to try them as a jelly sandwich, and because this base was so dark, I picked a jelly color that's a little light. Now, on the first coat, you don't really see much, but we're gonna let it dry and see how it will go over it. So the jelly I'm using is the Cirque Colors Lime Jelly, and I specifically picked it because it has a little bit of white in it. It has some opacity, and again, because the base color was so dark, I thought that would help in the experiment. And it does look a little bit interesting, but probably I would not wear it this way. It could be fun, but I think if I wanted to create a look like this, I wouldn't pick this this polish to layer in between the jelly sandwich. So don't blame the polish, blame my choices. Probably not the best, but it can be a good example to show you how this polish does not work that perfectly with a lighter jelly. I probably should have guessed, but I wanted to try anyway. Now the last polish in the collection is Mean Ghouls, and this is another flaky, and again, I am pretty excited. So first up, over black, it does look just like a flaky topper, not much, nothing too special in here, but one thing to note is that the flakies do read more red than on the actual polish. I probably again wouldn't wear it like that because I have less unique and easily accessible polishes that will just work as a topper. I wouldn't waste my limited edition Halloween collection bottles on that most of the time. Now onto the white swatch. I think this one is quite interesting because it does allow the black flakies to shine. It does give a much lighter base color, but I think it still is wearable. I probably wouldn't go for it again because you do lose the depth from the iridescent flakes, so I don't see the pink flakes anymore on this base color. But I suspect our next example might be a winner. So let's go over a pink magenta base. So a single coat over a pink magenta reads much better. In this case, you can definitely see both the black and the iridescent flakies, and I think that is a nice option to preserve your bottle, but still layering the flakes, it's such a stunning result, creates such a stunning result that I probably would want to wear it in 2 or 3 coats to create that depth. Now, just for fun, let's see how it will look in a jelly sandwich. And I'm not sure that we're gonna have much success here because again, the beauty of this polish is that you create a beautiful depth by creating multiple coats, and you're gonna lose a lot of that with the extra jelly layer, but we'll see how it works. So can you do it? Absolutely yes. Does it look nice? It definitely does, but is it better than just wearing it on its own? In my opinion, it is not. But if you got this polish and you felt like the flakies were too much, too distracting, the polish was too busy, but you still love the color and you wanted to give it a chance, using it on a jelly sandwich with a magenta jelly will kind of tone it down and help you wear it and enjoy the polish in your own way. So sure, it works beautifully. I just would prefer it in multiple coats. So as we look through these, and my personal preference for each polish would be, first of all, I do love all 6 polishes on their own in 2 or 3 coats. They are all stunning. I do feel that Eternal Glow works beautifully with the mid-tone purple base. I think you get a very similar result to the bottle and you can cover your visible nail line, so I will probably lean towards this option. For Sleepy Hollow, I am not sold on the results. I think building up multiple coats makes it much more magical than putting it over cream, so I will probably prefer that. Same goes to the Blueberry. I think over a blurring base coat, it is interesting, and it might also be interesting if you layer it over different colors, but just I wouldn't put it over something too dark. I would want to combine the base color with a pastel or a light mid-tone color just so they can both add to the color of the polish. Same feelings for this one, Grave Consequences. I do prefer a single coat over a light base, or just wearing it on its own, layered together, because you create depth with the shimmer. Otherwise, when you just put it over dark colors, I feel you don't do it justice. Generally speaking, I do prefer it over the 3 coats on its own, but again, if you really had to, this one can be fun and experimental because you change the undertone. But with black, you basically just see the shimmer, and I think it loses its uniqueness. It works perfectly fine, it's a stunning option, I feel it's not better. For the flakies, I have similar feelings. I am kind of interested in the option over light color, just because you get a more sparse flaky distribution, and sometimes I want that, but definitely looks stunning. The depth of building up the layers is uncomparable. Same for the Mean Ghouls. I am a little bit interested in the light base because it changes the color, it has light dispersion, but it is absolutely stunning when you actually layer it in 2 or 3 coats and you see all the depth of the flakies. So that's it. That is my deep dive into the Something Wicked collection by Polish for Days. Let me know if you enjoyed that kind of content, and I can definitely try to incorporate that in my swatch and reviews, or make a separate videos when collections feel like they can work well when you try to wear them over other colors. And yeah, let me know. Is that something you're interested in watching? Is it too much? Would you wear any of these polishes in one of the ways I showed here, or you would just prefer them on their own? If you haven't seen this collection before, I will link my original swatch and review video below and you can take a look. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!